So we're on to episode 6 with Men Who Thinks. Today's episode is about what I learned from cooking for myself. Oh boy. Quick little story here, just so that people can get the background. I was in college and I met this person at the gym, and they were lifting way more weights than me and lifting comparable to was someone who was strong. I asked him, I was like, what was your routine? What do you do? What do you eat? You know what they said? They said, oh wow, you know what? I'm actually plant-based. I go, wait, what? I'd heard about being plant-based, and being plant-based was something that I had thought about in the sense of why is it that people do that, and are there any benefits to it that me as a carnivore would maybe not necessarily know unless I experienced it myself. Then I realized that this person was top of their game, complete elite athlete in every regard. Then I did maybe 2 months, 3 months worth of research, and I realized, like, oh, there's some really good science here. And so, with my chemistry hat, my biology hat that I put on, I really sat there with the information for a long time. And now, a year later, I'm completely plant based in every regard. Well, the ones that would be like consumption habits as opposed to, monetary buying habits. But that is on the way though, so stay tuned for all that. But learning to cook for myself was also the same decision as taking care of my own health, being in charge of how I feel every day, being in charge of what I find happiness to be. It's been remarkable. How calm I am and how easy life has been for the past year has been. It's almost as if I took my life for 23 years and I put an end to a chapter, and then I put that whole book to the side, and then I picked up a completely blank slate. New chapter, age 24. It has been remarkable. Seriously. I'm sitting here being the happiest person I've ever been. I'm sitting here being the most calm and the most imaginative I've ever been. I walk around and there's a version of ease, and honestly there's a version of eagerness that I have within me to go and explore and adapt and to learn and to grow. So what did I learn from cooking for myself? Well, learning to cook for myself was also the same kind of freedom as, oh, you know what? I can actually save money, which is really making money nowadays, by making my own food. Oh, you know what? I can actually go to a restaurant and order the food, but then sit there imagining, you know what? I could actually put some other spices or other kind of flavors into this food and then make it my own. So being able to cook for my own food, being able to cook my own food is also in the same conversation as being a chef, just complete, full stop, just straight up. If you are cooking for yourself, you're a chef. It's as simple as that. You can go open your own restaurant. It's that simple. There's no need for the whole culinary school. I mean, yeah, there's habits and practice of dicing and having things be clean and symmetrical and consistent. You can teach yourself that over time, especially. The the essence of cooking your own food really is based in the intention you put in your own food. I remember when I was a lot younger, the variation of how In and Out tasted was like semi palatable to most people. Like they just wouldn't ever care. But then when you realize, like, oh, you know what? If that guy working the line on that day really loves In and Out, you're going to get a completely different hamburger than any other time you go to In-N-Out if hypothetically the person cooking your food doesn't necessarily care about the product. Just like when you go to your grandma's house and the food's always good. I mean, she's literally putting her blood, sweat, and tears into that stuff. So you're going to get food that's really, really good. Cooking for myself also put up, I just got this thought, my brain-derived neurotropic factor skyrocketed through the sky. Because I was just talking really fast and I realized that when I get really into what I'm talking about, I tend to just go 1,000 miles an hour with my words. And to me, it makes sense. It's the equivalent of like getting up really early and trying to type on a keyboard, and then you're maybe doing 56 words a minute, and then later on throughout the day, maybe right before lunch, you're at 83, 84 words a minute. It's kind of like that. So that's also a big plus with being able to cook your own food, because this is the creme de la creme of it all. So 6 minutes in, this is your reward for listening to my voice. When you have a car, right? If I have a gas car, would I ever put diesel in my gas car? No, no, no. You put diesel in a diesel car. You put gas into a gas car. For those super expensive like $1 million cars, most of them require a specific ethanol ratio to be functional and for the engine to work. So when you think about the body like that, it's okay. I'm looking to be at my tip-top shape, whether that be a designer, whether that be uh, a consultant, whether that be a father. I gotta ensure that my performance is at tip-top shape. So I'm gonna go out of my way to do whatever I can to learn and to cook for myself, and give myself the nutrition necessary so that I can be an asset to myself. First off, I gotta I gotta be able to flush the toilet and you know think for myself, and then ultimately the end product of that is, because my cup is so overflowing, then that means that other people, like, they're gonna get watered. The ground beneath me is gonna grow grass. So cooking for yourself is, nowadays, it's like you're part of the 1%. How many people do you know your age know how to actually cook food? Are they DoorDashing food? I mean, I loved DoorDashing food when I was a lot younger. It actually helped me a lot. It saved me things like time. But see, I got to the point where instead of sitting there being like, I'm gonna save myself time, I'm now on the point of cooking where it's like, man, I cook so that I can create time later. Like, I'm sacrificing the time now so that I have longevity then, so that I could see and help and assist and think and help, said that twice, more people. Because everyone always talks about saving time and consistency and convenience, and right, like you get out of work and it's Amazon Prime. Oh yeah, Whole Foods. It's got my, the second I get home, dude with the groceries is there. Can make my pasta, and it's like, well, you know, at the end of the day, really, I could go into the whole farm and where the food came from and what's in your food thing, but I'm sure that there's an episode for that later. What we're focusing on now is the question of what I learned by becoming a chef. Well, I guess this is now 2 episodes because I've been talking to you about what I learned about cooking my own food, when that's supposed to be episode 7, because episode 6 is supposed to be about what I learned about being a chef. So welcome to 2-in-1, first of its kind here. I'm gonna mark this down. Just gonna have to sit there and look at my side profile for just a second, everybody. Episode 6. Hey, there's people, they have headphones on. Hey, 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 come here. Come. Okay, good. I could also get into the whole thing about what's in the food. I already said that. But in the regard of like the cooked food, it's a whole rabbit hole in itself. So let's make this very simple. When you learn to cook your own food, you actually become a chef. The reason you become a chef is because you know what you're putting into your food. And when you know what you're putting into your food, you know that what's going into you is meant to help you. Simple? Got it. The more you know about what's meant to be in you, it'll change how you cook. And when you change what you cook, it'll change what kind of a chef you are. So, for example, I first started cooking as if I worked at a steakhouse. That was one of my original reasons why I got into cooking. I got into cooking because I realized, you know what, that steak that I pay $200 for, I could easily go get it for 50, 60 bucks and I could share it with somebody. So that same portion that I'd get at a steakhouse, I could actually make at home and have two people eat and potentially have leftovers. And then beyond like the whole inflation thing and the whole economy thing, it became a whole wow, you know what? I actually am a really good chef because I'm doing what that guy is doing, but I'm doing it my way. So I'm not going to compare myself to what they're doing because we're not doing the same thing. Because then once you figured out how to be a chef at a steakhouse, it was like, wait, I can actually do that exact same thing I just did with every other genre and type of food. But then, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, when you meet people that you want to do business with or people that you want to have a conversation with, and you're the chef and you're sitting there going, you know what, I've actually maybe never ventured into the whole plant-based or vegetarian or vegan side of cooking. Would I ever cook any of the pseudo meats? The simple answer was no, so I don't, because I realized I'm plant based because it makes more sense for me now to take care of my body in such a way that helps me today, but actually supports the foundation for a better tomorrow. And not, by comparison, live the life of convenience where it's easier for me to save time now because of, for whatever standard reason you might apply there. Because again, I'm doing it on the side of, I know that in the future, I'll be better off. Because when the future comes, and I could go to the bathroom and it feels good, and I wake up with energy, and I'm hydrated every day, that's where it starts to make sense to me because having had lived a carnivorous life and then having this like middle period of transition and then having a full year worth of experience on the other side of life, it's like, wow, would I ever voluntarily choose any of the things that existed on this side? And the answer is, I'm over here being, wow. So that's what it's like being in charge of cooking your own food. And that's what it'd be like being a chef, cooking the food and realizing that the people that you'd cook for have the same mental multiplication to be like, yeah, that's exactly why I go to you for you to cook me food that I could cook at home. Because we're going to get the same feeling either way. I'm just choosing to let you cook it for me today. And if you want the simple way to understand what I'm saying, go to a Michelin-starred restaurant, find the exact food you ate, and then dumb it down and go find the run-of-the-mill drive-through version of it. Most people listening to this will be like, I can't tell the difference. I'm not most people. Take care. All the best.